I know how it feel to be down on your luck like Andrew. I'm trying to run up the rest of my back.
Oh man, we back with another one. Super educational, super valuable. Let's get straight into it. So today I'm going to show you how we executed this GJ trade on Friday and had a $8,000 day. Aside from that, I also turned $90 into $275. And we're taking this $100 account just to kind of show people what's possible with the skill set. So with that being said, let's get into it. I actually, shout out to Trades by Side, I actually used ICC in this setup. So I'm going to show you how 1, 2, 3, 4 was present that gave me the idea to take the trade, and then how I used ICC for confirmation to actually get in the trade. It was still 1, 2, 3, 4, and I always tell people, shout out to Side. We really trade similar. I'm excited to, grow my skill and get to that point, honestly. Like, this dude's wins are multi-millions at this point. Anything, like, it's crazy. But long story short, here on the 1 hour time frame, right over here, we can see a high, a low, a break of structure to the upside. Then we have this change of character. So with that being said, I'm looking at this piece of price as bearish. So I pull out my fib and we can see it swept the 100% of the move. So what does that mean? That means that price failed to create a new high, continuing that trend. So when we come over here and look at the actual structure of what happened after that sweep, let's do it like this. So we've also got to pay attention to this support. So we've got this bounce, we've got this one, we've got this one, and what this is doing is showing me above this zone we're buying, below this zone we're selling. So we see how much respect this support is getting. So you'll see why that's important here in a second. So we see all that. Let's go to the 30. And now we're going to see a little bit more. So the way that price swept the high was it gave a high, a low, a break above that high, and then we get that change of character again. So once I seen that, I just knew, okay, if price goes below this right here, that is actually the trend confirmation point that we are fully bearish for the time being. So we see that happen. We see that happen. We see a very nice drop. But where did that drop come to? That exact zone that we were talking about. And then if you look at, sometimes you're just not 100% positive. That's why you've got to let structure guide you and let you know what's going on. But I had a feeling this high and low just really mattered. So for me, I used to trade supply and demand, and it's valid. It just didn't work for me. But I do know that a valid demand is a point that actually breaks structure in the market. So we get this huge candle, and then structure actually breaks. And if we look, that's the exact demand that got mitigated. So knowing that and seeing the reaction on it, if we go down to the 15, we can see, we know we're bearish right now, right? So when I seen this right here happen, and we actually get a bullish change of character off of that 1 hour demand after making low, high, it plays around a little bit, proves that it's still bearish. Now here's where I started getting interested in taking buys. Once I seen this sweep and then actually this high, low, and change of character formation, also breaking out of this trend line, then we get a low and another break of structure. So already had this zone marked up, and for us to take buys, we needed price to actually break out of that. And we see it actually broke out after having this point right here would be the trend confirmation point right here. So once the trend was actually confirmed, it's like, we can actually take some buys off this. So literally, this is where ICC started. Should I show you 1, 2, 3, 4 or ICC first? I'm gonna show you 1, 2, 3, 4. ICC is right there. If you've watched that, you know it's pretty simple, honestly. But we have our 1. We have our 2. We have our 3. Oops. And you can say that this trend line break was the 4. But even more important than this 1, 2, 3, 4 that happened is actually this one that we executed off of. So the fact that there was a trend confirmation showing that price is actually in a bullish trend right now, that told us almost everything we needed to know. So I'm sure you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Literally just a break of structure, a retest, mitigation of this support, and a trend line break for the entry. That's literally how I executed it. And the way I used ICC was just kind of confirming that was what's going on by being patient and just waiting. So we get the actual indication by breaking above this zone. We get the correction from that point, the break and retest, and then we get a clean trend line break. Now, I don't know how Sai would execute it, but you know, trend lines are one of my best entry signals. Trend lines slap, bro. I don't know. I don't do fair value gaps. I don't do engulfing candles. That trend line break will really guide you into some nice entries. And you can see after that, we've actually got that 5R profit. And I'll show you how I manage trades, because I think this will help a lot of people. You've got to understand, as traders, our job is to protect the downside and maximize the upside. So let me show you this. So here on this account, I want you to see this. So this is a 100K challenge. We've got to make 6,000. That trade that we took, that we're breaking down right now, made us 3,000. But like I just said about protecting your downside, I could have risked the whole 1% and just passed it, but how smart is that? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But what I did was risk about 0.5% and aim for that 1 to 5. You see what I'm saying? Zero stress, zero, you know, just no stress, just staying in flow and not forcing the result. So the way that I manage these trades when I enter them is, say I have a 200-point stop loss. So at this point right here, 200 points in the upside. If price cannot push for a 1-to-1 R after my entry without going minus 50%, I'm exiting the trade, because it's kind of proven to me that it's a loser through data, repetition, just consistent executions I've come to find. If the trade immediately goes against you after your entry, you're probably wrong. You're probably going to take the full loss. So why not just get out at minus 50%? And it's very, very challenging mentally. So you're going to have to set a hard minus 50% stop loss. And then when price breaks structure and hits that 1-to-1 R or vice versa, then you can actually accept the full structure of where the stop loss should be. So you can give the trade room to breathe if it does need to come back and retest that entry. And we can see this one almost pushed the 200 points, then almost stopped us out at 50%. But just trusting the system and the strategy, Price did what it was supposed to do, started making more highs and lows. Get a little sweep right here up the low, taking people's money, and we get a new high. So yeah, that is exactly how we executed that. And I hope somebody implements that 50% rule, because I know taking full loss after full loss after full loss, that's a pretty easy way to fail these challenges fast. So what I'm doing is risking the whole 1%, but if a trade proves to me after entry that it's not even worth the risk, I'm already setting myself up to get out at just a 0.5% loss. And you know how huge that is if you've been failing fundeds consistently. So I'm going to show you how we get these fundeds passed in, 5 to 10 trades. It really shouldn't take you no more than 5 to 10 trades. Definitely not 2-3 months. Definitely not years to pass one. So I hope you can learn something from this, and we'll have some more content week after week after week. I'm a real trader. I'm really executing. I'm really getting results. A lot of people can't show this and break down what they're doing, but yeah, let's get it.